Did a small-town inventor from Ohio really crack the code to free, clean energy with just water and pay the ultimate price for it? I'm Dr. Emily Carter, a scientist with 15 years of deep research into energy innovations, and today I'm taking you on a journey through one of the most controversial and captivating stories in modern science, Stanley Meyer's water fuel cell. This isn't just a story about a machine, it's a saga of ambition, mystery, and a dream that could have changed the world. Was Meyer a genius ahead of his time, or just a dreamer caught in a web of skepticism? Get ready, because this story will draw you in, spark your curiosity, and even make you question what's possible. By the end of this video, you'll want to share this story with everyone you know. And if you love uncovering hidden gems in science history, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to Obscure Minds for more stories of forgotten pioneers who dared to challenge the status quo. This 15,000-word story is divided into 7 parts, each revealing a piece of Stanley Meyer's legacy. From the spark of an idea to the shadows of conspiracy, we'll explore the science, the skepticism, and the human story behind it all. Let's get started. The 1970s were a turbulent time. Long lines of people waited to fill up gas, prices skyrocketed, and the 1973 Arab oil embargo shook the American economy. I remember those days, my dad grumbling at the gas station as prices doubled overnight. The nation was desperate for an alternative, a way to break free from the grip of fossil fuels. In Grove City, Ohio, a man named Stanley Meyer believed he had the answer. Not from oil fields or solar panels, but from something as simple as the glass of water on your kitchen table. Stanley Meyer wasn't your typical scientist. Born on August 24, 1940, he grew up in Columbus, Ohio, where hard work and ingenuity were the currency of survival. He wasn't a PhD or a lab researcher. He was a tinkerer, a dreamer with the ability to see what others couldn't. His twin brother, Stephen, once said, "We were always building something. We made our own toys." Meyer's early years were filled with experiments, radios, engines, anything he could take apart and put back together. After serving in the military and briefly studying at Ohio State University, he set his sights on solving the energy crisis. The idea hit him like a bolt of lightning. What if water, the most abundant resource on Earth, could replace gasoline? Water is H2O, 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. Hydrogen burns clean, producing only water vapor as exhaust. What's the problem? Splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen through electrolysis requires more energy than you get back when burning the hydrogen. It's a losing game, according to the laws of thermodynamics. But Meyer claimed he'd found a way around it. A method to break water's molecular bonds with minimal energy, using high-voltage pulses and resonance. He called it the water fuel cell. Imagine this, a compact device humming with electricity, turning tap water into fuel that could power a car. Meyer's vision wasn't just about cars, it was about freedom. Freedom from oil cartels, from pollution, from a world tied to finite resources. In his workshop, surrounded by oscilloscopes and wires, he began sketching the work of his life. His patents, filed in the 1980s, described a resonant electrolysis cell that used pulsed voltage to fracture water molecules. But the 1970s weren't just about oil shortages. They were about a nation searching for hope. Meyer's idea tapped into that desire. He wasn't alone. Others were exploring hydrogen, but his claim was bold. He said he could drive a dune buggy 100 miles on a gallon of water. To Americans tired of lining up for gas, it sounded like a miracle. It became imperative that we bring in an alternative fuel source and do it quickly. Stanley Meyer, 1990. However, whispers of doubt began early. Scientists scoffed, citing the laws of thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, they said. Meyer's device, critics argued, was impossible, but Meyer pressed on, undeterred, his belief fueled by a mix of faith and stubbornness. Was he a pioneer or a fool? That's what we'll explore next. As a scientist, I've spent years studying energy systems, and I'll admit, Meyer's water fuel cell is a puzzle. To understand it, let's start with the basics. Electrolysis is simple. Pass an electric current through water, and it splits into hydrogen and oxygen. But it's inefficient. For every unit of energy you put in, you get less back when burning the hydrogen. The laws of thermodynamics are unforgiving. Meyer claimed he'd overcome those laws. His patents described a system using high-voltage, low-current pulses to create resonance in water molecules, causing them to split with minimal energy. He called it hydrogen fracturing, a term that raised eyebrows in scientific circles. His system used stainless steel plates, a water capacitor, and a custom circuit to deliver precise electrical pulses. Here's the wild part. Meyer said his cell produced large amounts of gas while staying cool to the touch, unlike traditional electrolysis, which generates heat. Witnesses, including British scientists, reported seeing gas evolve at low currents, milliamps, not amps. One observer noted the cell melted steel with its hydrogen-oxygen flame, a feat requiring significant gas output. But the scientific community wasn't convinced. Philip Ball, writing in Nature, called Meyer's claims pseudoscience, arguing they violated the first and second laws of thermodynamics. The first law says energy cannot be created. The second says you lose some energy as heat in any process. Meyer's cell, critics said, would need to produce more energy than it consumed, an impossibility. It's hard to establish how Meyer's car was meant to work, except that it involved a fuel cell that split water with less energy than was released. Philip Ball, Nature, 2007. I've pored over Meyer's patents, and they're dense with jargon. Electrostatic potential gradient, resonant cavity, Brown's gas. Brown's gas, a 2-to-1 mix of hydrogen and oxygen, is real, but its properties are debated. Some claim it burns hotter than pure hydrogen. Others say it's just oxyhydrogen. Meyer's voltage intensifier circuit, VIC, is another enigma, supposedly amplifying voltage to create resonance without high current. Could resonance really make a difference? In my lab, I've seen how specific frequencies can amplify effects in materials. Think of a singer shattering a glass. But with water, it's a stretch. Yet Meyer's demonstrations drew crowds. He showed scientists and military officials a cell producing gas at low power. Was it sleight of hand, or did he tap into something we don't yet understand? Let's see what he did with it. Picture this, a bright red dune buggy, emblazoned with water-powered car in bold letters, cruising down an Ohio road. It's 1995, and Stanley Meyer is behind the wheel, grinning as reporters and onlookers gawk. He claimed this buggy could travel 100 miles on a gallon of water, tap water, rainwater, even seawater. The media went wild. A WTVN-TV broadcast showed Meyer filling the buggy's tank with water, no gasoline in sight. He claimed to have replaced spark plugs with injectors that fed hydrogen and oxygen into the engine. The exhaust? Only oxygen and water vapor, no carbon emissions, no pollution. It was a dream for a nation still reeling from oil dependence. This car runs on water, rainwater, well water, city water, seawater. Stanley Meyer, WTVN broadcast. I can imagine the excitement. As an American, you'd feel the weight of gas prices, smog, and geopolitical tensions tied to oil. Meyer's buggy wasn't just a vehicle, it was a symbol of hope. He claimed it could cross the country on 22 gallons of water. That's like driving from Los Angeles to New York on less water than a hot tub holds. But cracks appeared quickly. Scientists demanded proof. Where were the peer-reviewed studies? Why wouldn't Meyer let experts like Michael Lawton, a professor at Queen Mary University, fully test the buggy? Lawton called Meyer's excuses lame, and a 1996 court case labeled the cell conventional electrolysis. Investors, promised dealerships for Meyer's technology, sued for fraud and won, forcing him to repay $25,000. Still, Meyer had supporters. Some witnesses swore the cell worked as claimed, producing gas at low energy. Others pointed to his patents, over a dozen granted by the US Patent Office, as evidence of legitimacy. But patents don't prove a device works, they only confirm originality. The buggy became a lightning rod for debate. Miracle or mirage? The answer lies in what happened next. By the mid-1990s, Meyer's star was fading. The scientific community, initially curious, turned hostile. His claims of defying thermodynamics were too much for many to swallow. I've seen this in my career. Bold ideas often face a wall of doubt before they're proven. But Meyer's case was different. He wouldn't let independent experts fully test his cell, citing trade secrets. In 1996, two investors sued Meyer, claiming his water fuel cell was a scam. They'd paid for dealership rights, expecting a revolution. Instead, they got excuses. The court case was brutal. 3 expert witnesses examined the cell and found it used conventional electrolysis, nothing revolutionary. The judge ruled Meyer had committed gross and egregious fraud, ordering him to repay $25,000. I've read the court documents, and they're damning. But there's another side. Meyer's supporters argued the tests were flawed. During a pre-trial deposition, an expert added an unknown substance to the water against Meyer's protests. Meyer insisted his cell used plain tap water, no additives. Was this sabotage or a desperate attempt to discredit him? The scientific community piled on. Nature called the water fuel cell a myth, and critics like Bruce Simpson argued Meyer's claims were bad science. Simpson noted that no one could replicate Meyer's results independently, a cornerstone of scientific validation. Bad science doesn't work. All it does is spawn more bad science. Bruce Simpson, 1995. Yet, Meyer's patents and demonstrations kept some believers hooked. As a scientist, I struggle with this. Replication is king in our field, but secrecy is the enemy of progress. Meyer's refusal to share details fueled the fire. Was he protecting a breakthrough or hiding a flaw? The truth grew murkier, and then tragedy struck. March 20th, 1998. Stanley Meyer was dining at a Cracker Barrel in Grove City, Ohio, with his brother Stephen and 2 Belgian investors. Suddenly, he clutched his neck, ran outside, and collapsed. His last words, according to Stephen, "They poisoned me." He was only 57. The official coroner's report concluded he died of a cerebral aneurysm, worsened by high blood pressure. No evidence of poison was found, but to Meyer's supporters, it was no coincidence. The internet exploded with conspiracy theories. Did big oil silence him? The Pentagon? Foreign powers? A Pentagon spokesperson denied any involvement, but a WTVN broadcast had mentioned a Pentagon official visiting Meyer. Conspiracy posts flooded early forums, and later X amplified the speculation. I've seen how conspiracy theories thrive in the absence of clarity. Meyer's secrecy didn't help. He turned down a rumored $1 billion offer from a Saudi investor, saying he wanted his technology to benefit America. His death, so sudden and dramatic, felt like the final twist in a thriller. The world is a dark place, and that darkness usually sits at the very top. Reddit user, 2023. But let's pause. Aneurysms are unpredictable. High blood pressure was a known issue for Meyer. The police found no foul play. Yet the timing, right after a meeting with investors, fueled suspicion. His death became a rallying cry for alternative energy enthusiasts who saw him as a martyr. As a scientist, I'm torn. The human side of me feels the tragedy. A man with a dream, gone too soon. The skeptic in me questions the narrative. Did Meyer's death cement his legend or obscure the truth? Let's look at what he left behind. Stanley Meyer's patents, over a dozen, expired in 2009, becoming public domain. Today you can find them on Google Patents, detailing everything from the water fuel cell to a gas management system for optimizing hydrogen use. Groups like stanslegacy.com have sprung up, reverse engineering his designs with an open-source mindset. Modern experimenters like Daniel Donatelli of Secure Supplies claim to have built on Meyer's ideas, developing nanobubble fuel technology and dynamosynthesis. Posts on X show enthusiasts recreating Meyer's cell, though none have achieved mainstream validation. But the scientific community remains unmoved. No peer-reviewed study has confirmed Meyer's claims, and the laws of thermodynamics still loom large. Yet the dream persists. Hydrogen fuel cells, like those in the Toyota Mirai, use similar principles, though they rely on external hydrogen sources, not onboard water splitting. Could Meyer's resonance idea hold untapped potential? In my lab, I've seen how small tweaks in frequency can yield surprising results. Maybe we're not ready to dismiss him entirely. Meyer's story resonates because it taps into a universal longing, a world free from pollution, powered by something as simple as water. His dune buggy, his patents, his defiance, they're a beacon for dreamers. The dream of a water-powered car lives on as a reminder of untapped potential. Aqua Terra X, 2023. So what do we make of Stanley Meyer?